Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Make Your Good Business Great. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing you to Leanne Nguyen from Constant & Co. And she's going to talk to us about the facts and the figures of our business. Welcome, Leanne.
Hello, Kim.
Thanks
Thank you so much for having me here today.
Thank you for being with us. Now, we'll just get straight into it. So tell us, Leanne, who are the types of clients that you see?
Yes, so our company is a chartered accountant firm, and we're a small firm in Melbourne, Australia. We have about 20 people, and we serve pretty diversified clients. So most of our clients are small to medium business firms. They operate in different industries. Most of them are from property industry, actually. And and we have financial advisors as well as accountant in the same firms, which really helps to provide business owner with various services, and we sort of offer them a full package of service regarding their financial performance.
It's a terrific model, isn't it, when you can bring a number of people together to service the one client, and when everybody is skilled and can be, passed on through the client so that the client themselves gets a full service.
Yes, definitely. And we found that is what business owner nowadays really need, rather than having different advices from different people. They now actually have very constant advices throughout the time.
Yeah, it's a terrific model. Even if we're not in, as a CPA as such, we could be thinking as, the viewers, where they can be bolting on other services to help the client in that, holistic approach, if that's, the right word to describe it as.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And what common problems do you find your clients come to you with, Leanne?
Yes, okay. So many of my clients are small business owners.
Yep.
They face daily challenges on many fronts, from customer to inventory, marketing, technology. But one of the biggest, they say, is actually the accounting function. And some of the very common accounting problems that business easily encounter in daily basis. And I think I'm going to go through with you probably like 3 to 4 common problems.
Yeah, so that would be great.
I hope that it's going to help, business when they, the first thing I would like to mention is, some business owner, they just don't take bookkeeping seriously enough.
Yeah.
Carrying start with bookkeeping, it's important for excellent records to be kept. And without accurate real-time bookkeeping, you don't have the tools to know how your business is truly performing. For example, if you own the restaurant, you should know the cost of your food, rent, utilities, and you should really know whether these costs are in line with others in your market. Yeah. And it is time-consuming. It is difficult task. That's why we always recommend business owners, especially the new startup one, to having some sort of professional carrying help or hire professional accountant so that it can help you to organize bookkeeping much easier in the future time.
Especially if it's not our strong suit as well. To start on the best foot is always going to be the best way.
That's true. Yes, definitely. And then the second problems that business often have is they don't see the reports, the accounting reports, as the management tool. Accounting is not just a tool for entering financial data to fulfill tax obligation or tell you how much money you have in the bank. Instead, accounting is a powerful mechanism that provides answers to questions regarding how business owners' strategy decisions are working or not working.
Yep.
So if you work close with your accountants or if you utilize business reports from the financial data, you will be informed about your company performance, and you will be able to identify any issues that may come up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's quite, for example, an account receivable aging reports will definitely help you to know which client is behind on payment, and that help you to prevent any cash flow problems.
Yeah. So How often would you say that we should be running those reports to get a bird's eye view of what's actually happening, Leanne?
It really depends on the activity of the business, the size of the business,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes on the business owners. So if you're not confident about the performance, you can do it on weekly basis.
Mm-hmm.
And normally we will advise our clients to do it at least on quarterly basis.
Yeah, terrific, terrific.
Yes, and then maybe the third problem that business often come to us is
Yeah.
when they really mix business and personal finances.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just have really to make sure that you keep this separate, because once you establish a company to run a business, you definitely want to put a wall between you and the company. So you need to accurately check record of what was really used for business and what is for personal use.
Right. And that goes beyond, I'm sure, just having separate accounts for business and personal, but actually tracking what you are putting through your business and what is actually personal.
Yes, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are pretty common, and I would say the final common problem that I see nowadays,
Yeah.
some business owner, they think technology is always a solution,
Yeah.
and often you fall in the traps that you think. And nowadays there's so many accounting software. It's easy to purchase just accounting software,
Yeah.
and you say that it can solve all your problem. But in fact, there's substantial difference between record keeping and accounting. Even with the best software, you need some sort of knowledge about accounting to stay in line with some regulatory compliance. And software does not really eliminate your accounting problems. So just really be aware about that.
So would you suggest doing the online tutorials or actually going to a workshop or just speaking to your accountant about it?
Well, I would say combination, is accounting is really the root of the business. So you can gain information by different channels. You can get from the workshop, you can Google it, read some books. Even if you have accountants, I always recommend my clients to actually always update your knowledge about accounting.
Yep.
And it's never hurt to understand more about your business.
Absolutely. And especially when we're talking the facts and the figures, because we can outsource or, get help with so many areas that we should always have some knowledge of what we are outsourcing. But when it comes down to our business profit, that's why we're in business. So it makes sense to get as much information about it as possible.
Sure, yeah.
Even if it's not our strong suit, and it's certainly not my strong suit.
That is true. That's why you always need, some sort of other help.
Yeah.
And it actually help your business grow because we all help each other to grow together.
Yeah. Yeah. I personally took on a bookkeeper last year after having done my BAS obligations for a number of years on my own and virtually crying every single time. And my husband would just say, just get somebody to help you with this. And you know what? Since I've had her, I haven't cried, not once.
That's true. It's probably take you the whole day to Google it and see what account you should put that expense to.
Yeah.
But you need professional help, and I always recommend. It's never hurt when you ask for help.
Yeah, that's right.
What you are best at, and that's what we do. We are best at keeping the figures up to date, so we do it.
Yeah, exactly. And the wonderful thing is to, have a professional come in and set it up for you. Then you can just follow that system and it makes life so much easier. Yeah.
Yes.
So in regards to, one of the biggest problems for all businesses is cash flow. Do you have any tips for us on that, Leanne?
Oh, yes, definitely. Cash is the king. Cash flow is the business. And, with money tight, bank loans hard to get, business can easily be pushed to the brink. So cash flow is the first priority for every business, I believe.
Yeah.
I actually want to share some top tips.
Yeah.
That might help business owner in ensuring that the cash flow is managed well and you're not placing business at risk of failure. The first tip I think business should really consider, no matter how small, how big you are, but you really need to consider is to create budget.
Yeah.
Business owner should really sit down and thoughtfully estimate cash inflow and cash outflow.
Yeah.
You may prepare cash flow projection for next year, next quarter, or even next week if you're uncertain. And once you have a proper cash flow projections, it is equally important to monitor the results.
Right.
Many clients came to me and I saw them spending time and effort on, create budget, but fails to examine it. So at least on a monthly basis, the actual cash flow should be compared with the budget to see if you are tracking as planned, and any variance should be examined. So if you have excess cash, you may think about putting in a short-term investment. But if you have problems where you don't have enough cash to pay the bills, then you need to plan for an appropriate loan or other sort of cash to temporarily cover your costs. So it's really, really important to budget it, to plan it ahead rather than go back and solve the problem.
Yeah, terrific. That's terrific. And in bringing the cash into the door, when we have outstanding bills, how do you get around that, Leanne?
Yeah, so cash flow is basically cash in and cash out. So you have to improve the receivables as well as manage your creditors. And on the first side, to improve receivable, the basic idea is to improve the speed with which you turn materials into products, inventory into receivable, and receivable into cash. That's the whole idea that you need to do. There's some techniques for you to do it. You can either offer discount to customer to pay their bills quickly. That is really a good idea about it. You can ask your customer to make deposit payments, or you can ask them maybe not for all, but for those who you can expect slow payment. Then you may need them to have some sort of cash on delivery, COD payment.
Right.
Yeah, and get rid of the old outdated inventory for whatever you can get. So those are sort of skills that you can improve your receivables. On the other side, if you want to manage your creditors, you don't believe it, but there's so many of my clients that line up their monthly bills, sit down and write all the checks at once.
Yep.
So they hope that they put aside enough cash or that their coming sales will float the payment through, but sometimes it's not happening.
Yep.
So it's okay to write the checks all at once, but you need to put them into holding pattern.
Right.
Not envelope with the debt. You should mail it in order for it to land on time without crashing into another check. And I always advise my client to setting up about 3 tiers for disbursement of the checks. Tier 1, must pay group. You definitely have to pay it, otherwise can hurt you in cost or ability to operate the business.
Yes.
Tier 2, important to pay. It's still important to pay, but you can still postpone a little bit. And tier 3, flexible payment, especially with the supplies. Then if you have a good relationship with the creditors, then you can ask for, payment term, 30 days, 20 days, something like that to really improve your cash flow. So those are small tips that business might think about to improve their cash flow.
Yeah, that's terrific. That's terrific. A tiered system. So really what we all need to be doing is sitting down and looking at who we are paying on a monthly basis and putting them into those tiers so that we can manage our cash flow.
That's right. Yeah. It may take a little bit of time at start, but one is running, you will see is really advantageous in your managing cash flow.
That's such a great point, Leanne. Sometimes it's so overwhelming with everything that we all have going on to actually sit down and do these productivity assessments and and achievements. But once it's done, it's then done, and everything flows from that.
Yeah, that's true. That's the whole idea about planning and executing the plan so that you can deliver your final success.
Yeah. Unfortunately, sometimes I find myself doing these things on a Saturday night.
We all do, trust me.
How boring. But, you know, that's the time when honestly I can have a glass of wine and sit down and nut out these things that I would prefer to actually pull out my teeth and do.
No, that's true. It's always easier said than done, you know. And that's why I always say, you know, you work with a good accountant, then you get everything organized.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
terrific. It's terrific. And,
Yeah.
you know, there's obviously different stages to businesses. What, as far as a startup business goes, or somebody who's been only in business for a year or 18 months, have you got any suggestions in relation to all of their bookwork that they should be looking into to set up,
Uh,
you know, from the
yes,
start?
yes, definitely. So, you know, once people decide to start their business, there are a million things they will need to thoroughly consider,
Yeah,
including, you know, research a market, trying to understand products. But from the accounting perspective, it's also really important startup business owner to make the right decision from the very start.
yeah,
And the first thing that I always suggest the new startup owners is you got to choose the right structure for your business. You know, company, trust, partnership, sole trader, whatever you want to run your business based on, it can be really, really significant because the business structure that you choose today will affect your business in the future. And to change a structure down the track can be costly exercise.
yeah,
So, you know, before thinking about operating a business, really have to, you know, thoroughly think about it and talk to your accountant whether you want how you want to run your business on, you know, the structure things. And the second thing is it's really easy for the new owners to get stuck in mixing business with pleasure. So in the beginning, too many business owners mix and mingle their personal finance with the business finance. I have to come back to this issue once again because I see so many clients of mine that have the same problems. And it's just getting worse and worse in the end, you know, that we as accountants don't even know how to solve it because, and we always say that if you solve the problem from the start, it's just much easier for you. And you know what, for the new business owner, get the right advice
yeah,
on every aspect, accounting, finance, just to get the right advice. You may consider to hire bookkeeper or seeking help from accounting firm. Many business owners think they can handle the accounting job by themselves because it can be simple at the start,
mm-hmm.
but you have to be careful because wrong person can create issues that haunt your business for many years to overcome.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And although it might seem that, oh, I don't have so many customers at the moment, I can do it myself, getting that
Yeah,
expert advice to set you up can save a lot of headaches down the track.
that's true. That's true. Even though maybe at the start you may use you know 2 or 3 accounts,
Yeah,
but your business will grow very quickly. That you know it's just over your control, and it's going to be so hard later on. So
yeah,
make sure you get someone to help you with proper record keeping system,
yep,
help you to understand legal requirements,
yeah,
you know, type of tax you need to pay, how and when to prepare those tax return. Because for example, for the quarterly bus, if you don't lodge in, if you don't pay it, you're going to pay penalty on it. Simple as that. So
yeah,
just,
yeah.
just try to get organized before you think about something else.
That's got to be one of your ultimate nightmares, hasn't it, Leanne? When a business doesn't put in their tax, you know, on time, and then they pay penalties.
That's
You must
true.
just go,
Oh, I know. And it's just simple thing to do, but you wouldn't believe why it's just turned out to be so hard.
oh, that's great. You know, just on the side, do you still actually have clients that bring in the shoebox of receipts to sort out? Or is that a
Oh,
thing of the
I
past?
do. I do. And yeah, often you see, you know, restaurant bills and, you know, shoe receipt within the business box. So
And you go, no, 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 no.
Yeah, a big no, a big no.
So going from a startup or an early, an early riser in the business, going through to, like, we should always have an exit plan for our business. So when we're setting our business up for sale, what is some of the advice that you could give us to set it up to sell?
Yes, definitely. So when you think about selling your business, I would say the first question that will be in your mind would be, how much can I sell it for? So, value of the business will determine when you want to sell it, or like how you want to sell it. And there are different viewpoints to valuing business for sale, but generally there will be three methods.
Yep.
That you may think about when you try to see how much you can sell your business for.
Yep.
And each method, it really depends on whether how you want to use it. But I will go through with you, just quickly. It will be asset approach, income approach, or comparable sales or market approach.
Okay.
The first approach is the asset approach. This method basically determines a business value by adding up all the sum of its many parts. In other words, it determines what the business will be worth if it closed out today and sold.
Yeah.
So it's easy to work out because you're going to have only to add the value of your assets and you subtract its liability. You can do it through the balance sheet of the company. The problem with this method is it doesn't take into account the ability of those assets to generate wealth in the future.
Right.
Or it doesn't take into account goodwill. So for this reason, asset valuation may understate the true value of the business, especially when your business is making profit. It will not take into account that. The second method is the income approach. This one is more popular and business often use this one to determine the value. So this method determines value by calculating the net present value of the benefit stream generated by the business. Right. Think about the house. Think about when you want to sell the house. Then one of the things you would look at is the net present value of the rent that you can receive in the future if you buy that house. Yeah, so that's sort of the income approach will determine the value. And you will hear people saying sometimes like, oh, that business is valued twice its annual earnings. Means that if the business earnings is $200,000, then the business will be valued at $400,000. Yeah, so that sort of approach will give you a better idea of how much the business can be worth based on its performance.
Great.
And yes, and the last method is the market approach. So this is to look at other businesses in the same industry that have been sold and based on the sale price on the average of other business. This approach can be risky and can be hard to determine, especially when you don't have so many other similar business in the same industry. But it's always good to help you to have an idea of how much other business would be worth. So I would suggest to my clients to look at 3 methods at the same time. It gives you better idea, understanding about your business value.
Yeah, that's terrific because there are so many approaches, and I've often had conversations with friends and colleagues, and it is one of those questions. There are a number of ways to do it, and what is the best way to do it?
Yeah, there's no single best way to do it because it's really depend on the business situation. It depends on the complexity of the business. And it is a hard subject because we need to look at from different perspective. And I always advise clients that one is you have to think in a bigger picture. So you have to combine those approach, and you will have better understanding about your business value. And secondly is try to get some advice as well, because it's really hard for someone who is not in that specific field to understand about the value of the business on the market. You can understand about your own business, but you will not have depth understanding of the market. So really have to look for advice in that situation.
Yeah, that's terrific. And that's another thing that perhaps you could put some thought into, but then go and speak to your accountant about.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always tell my clients, because there's situation when some of my clients they don't come to us until the final year ends.
Yeah.
Because I think that, I just need to get the tax return done. I just need to get the financial statement to be prepared. So they don't actually tell us what they plan to do. If they want to buy equipment, they don't tell us until the year end, and we file, you just bought it, But it is something to consider, because accounting is you can't do anything at the year end. One is done. You can't do anything rather than just recorded it.
Yeah.
But if we know before, we can sort of planning for our clients to get the contracts right away, to get it signed, preparing the appropriate manuals, and can help them with the cash flow even. So really think about like having a conversation with your accountant before you decide any big decision.
Yeah, it's terrific advice for all of us in every industry. And as a business owner yourself, what are some of the best things that you've done to help your business grow, Leanne?
Yes. So for our business as accounting, I would say one of the best thing that I could have done is I always expect every client, and I see each client as an opportunity for us. This is the true story. It happened only a few months ago.
Yeah.
There was a client coming to us, and it's funny because he appeared in the appearance that just looked like someone on the street, with really like stinky clothes, and it doesn't look like a businessman at all. But we see every people coming into us as a client, as a potential client, and we treat them with respect, and we try to help them. So we help them with some business plan. We help. Yeah, he just wanted to start a business, so we help them with that. And you know what? He turned out to be our really loyal clients, and bring us like 20K per year. So that is the thing that I think we always want to tell our people, that everyone can be your client, everyone can be your potential opportunity. So treat them with respect and try to do your best. And success will come at the end. But
yeah, it's great advice, isn't it? And it's so simple as well, Leanne. Treating our clients well, providing awesome service will inevitably get us more referrals and more business.
That's true. Yeah. And specifically when we work in the service industry, that's all about meeting client expectations.
Yeah, that's right. And over the years, you would have read, I'm sure, a lot of different books, different business books. Is there one that sticks in your mind as a game changer for you?
Yes, actually, my most favorite book so far is Crush It by Gary Vaynerchuk. So, yeah, I don't know if you...
I have heard of that one, but I've not read it yet.
Yeah, well, it was really interesting. What made me really inspired was not only about the business strategy that Gary is the author.
Yeah.
Where he actually wrote that book based on the lesson that he learned growing his own business.
Yeah.
But what really inspired me is his passage through that book is the golden rule to success is love your family, work super hard, and live your passion. And he measured his success by how happy he is, not how big the business is or how much money you make. And I just feel so inspired by knowing that if you're going to live and breathe your business and personal brand, you have to love what you do.
Yeah.
And that's why I always tell my kid that you have to love what you're doing, and that's when you have success.
Oh, that's terrific. That's great
Yeah.
advice. That's great advice, especially when we're working for ourselves and, like me, working on Saturday night sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
You gotta love it.
You don't even think that it's Saturday.
You've got to love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, who is your guru? Who do you admire, Leanne?
I actually really admire Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook owner. I use Facebook all the time.
Yeah.
It become my biggest networking, and
Yeah.
it's just this place to share my thoughts, emotion, and connect with all the people that I love.
Yeah.
But what I really admire him and his business is, he contributes to the community. And I think that to be able to grow in the long term and sustainably, your business has to contribute to the community. It's not about making money, selling more products, but it's really how you can help people, and that determine business success according to my personal idea.
Yeah. That's perfect. Well, we are at the end, Leanne. I thank you so much for all of the
That is so quick, isn't it?
provided for our viewers today.
Thank you so much, Kim. It's really, really great pleasure to talk to you. And I hope that our viewers will get something after this.
Yeah. Well, what we've done is put all of your details down the bottom so that people can get in contact with you. And I look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow on Make Your Good Business Great. Bye for now.